Bickley and Marotta mornings. Arizona sports. The local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
Devin Booker is the king of Phoenix. Devin Booker will also miss the All-Star game for the second time in 3 years, and in terms of national reputation, this one will leave a mark. Now, keep in mind, this is not a snub. Booker is underperformed for an underperforming team. While his numbers are good, his shooting splits are not, and in no logical world can a team as disappointing as the Suns land 2 players in the All-Star game. Now, there was a time when Book was highly offended by his absence in the All-Star game. Once, he said the NBA just wasn't the same sport he grew up loving, a sport that is now about entertainment, drama, and politics. He was very depressed at that time. I don't think that's the case here and now, and if anybody has a right to feel aggrieved, it's probably Domantas Sabonis, who is putting up stats not seen since Wilt Chamberlain. So, the hope is that this will be rest and this will be fuel. Recently, we've seen Book recover some of the pop and juice that seemed to be missing in his game, along with his shooting rhythm, and maybe watching this year's All-Star game will give him the rage and the fury that he needs, the stuff that made him who he is in the first place. All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW. Make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
Book's, one of the great 2 guards in our league right now. What he's done, this season as a scorer, as a playmaker, as a leader, it's just, he's clearly in our minds an all-star. Hopefully the other coaches see and respect what he's done. This season, it's never easy, but that guy's, he's one of the best players in our league, so I don't see how he's not an all-star.
That was Mike Budenholzer Wednesday night talking about it going into the Thursday selections. We touched on it yesterday. Neither one of us expected Devin Booker's name to be called. Considering all things that you brought up in the blast, it wasn't called. It might be as an injury replacement. You never know what's going to happen. I think it's interesting to consider, because Kevin Durant talked about it this week, that he would like to see all-star rosters increase to 15. If it was 15,
does he make it?
Devin Booker one of those guys? Or is it De'Aaron Fox or Domantas Sabonis? Is it Kyrie Irving didn't make it?
I know. And Mark Cuban was very angry about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a badge of honor, and I understand Mike Budenholzer is stumping for his player.
Yeah,
absolutely, because it's not like Devin Booker's been terrible. He's been very good. He's not, in my mind, he's not played up to the Devin Booker standard that we've been used to over the last 5-6 years.
That's it. And again, it's funny because there are some people reporting that the quote of Devin Booker from, I believe, 2021 it was, when he said, "This sport isn't the same sport I fell in love with. This is all about entertainment, drama, and politics." There are people out there who think that's recent. And you watch the clip, you can see DeAndre Ayton and Elie Kobo in the background. And it's like, hello, that ain't recent.
Wow, I haven't thought about Elie Kobo in a long time.
Yeah, that ain't recent. So I don't think Book will be deeply offended by this. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think I think he's probably pretty realistic at how this season has gone. And also, the NBA, it would just be a bad look. You can't reward a team as underperforming as the Suns with 2 guys on the All-Star team. At least that's what I believe.
Yeah, and I think Sacramento ran into that too. No, they didn't get anybody on the team, but I mean, how much issue can you take with the guys that were named?
I can't.
Anthony Edwards?
Absolutely belongs. Maybe James Harden. Jaren Jackson Jr. definitely belongs. Alperen Şengün.
Yeah.
The Rockets have to have somebody. It would have been him or Jalen Green, right?
Anthony Davis made it. And say what you want about Anthony Davis. He's been tremendous this year. Now, he is currently hurt with the abdominal strain.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they would take another big. Jalen Williams of the Thunder deserves it. Victor Wembanyama, everybody wants to see him. And this was voted on by the coaches.
Yes.
So the starters are voted on by the mix of fan, player, and media. And then the coaches get together and vote for the reserves.
Yes.
And there's been years, Bick, where Devin Booker has been a snub. And I've been upset by it.
Yeah.
And maybe, he strikes me as the kind of player, too, that might be able to use this as fuel. I don't know if it'll be talked about a lot. it'll be internalized, but, this could turn out to be an advantage for the Suns.
That's what I'm hoping for, because it is a status drop, and if you're going off what Devin Booker was in the summertime in Paris and the way he was platformed and the way he was talked about by Steve Kerr and others, he was one of the top 6 players in terms of minutes played on the biggest stage in basketball. And then you go into your regular season, you don't make the All-Star game. That's a drop in status. But again, there's a lot of factors involved here, and I don't think this adds up to a snub. So, but if he can take that and just go, okay, there's something that I've got to get back. There's something that's been taken from me, or something that I've lost, something I've got to get back. I'd love to see him do that. Devin Booker, in the couple of years, in the 2 years prior to Kevin Durant showing up, there were times when I watched his evolution as a player, and I compared him to Michael Jordan from the standpoint that every year he seemed to come back better in around the margins. He did something to make himself better. I haven't sensed that in a couple of years. Now that doesn't mean he isn't working hard. It doesn't mean he hasn't plateaued, although that might be the case. But when he was evolving at the best version of Devin Booker, it was the fury, it was the aggression, it was the just taking the ball to the hoop almost every single time. And it was just breathtaking to watch, because Devin Booker has got he's stronger than he looks, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And now I know that they've changed up his role. They want him to shoot more 3-point shots. All of it might have kind of taken him out of the lane he was in. Mm-hmm. I just hope he gets it back. That's it.
Yeah, I just did a quick Google search on All-Star snubs, and it came up on Yardbarker based on a tweet from Can't Guard Book at CGB Burner on Twitter. Devin Booker on being snubbed from an All-Star game. Devin Booker's opinion on the NBA constantly snubbing him from the All-Star game, with a current date on it. Mm-hmm. Now, here's what he said. This is from 2018, 2019, by the way.
Oh, boy.
So we're talking about 6 years ago.
Yeah, I was disappointed. It hurt not to be included in that bunch.
It was always a goal of mine. But it just reproves the point that the NBA is different than the game that I fell in love with at the beginning. Of all the best players in the All-Star game, growing up watching that. And now it's an entertainment, drama, political field league. But we're a part of it now, so.
That's funny.
You're looking at the footage. DeAndre Ayton is shooting over Elie Kobo. Uh-huh. Tyler Johnson is on the practice court. And now fact-checking is not a thing on social media anymore, so it's up to the communities to do it. There is a note on it that says this video is from the 2018-2019 season.
And you should know it, because he doesn't even look like that anymore. He looks like a kid.
Yeah, he does. He barely has facial hair.
Right. And so I think, though, it's remarkable, because that brings me back into time when Devin Booker really did feel like he was being punished for playing in Phoenix, Arizona. And so, so a lot has happened for the better. Yeah, and he was. Yeah, it's true.
He was very good, and certainly All-Star worthy. And that year, 2019, was probably one of the years where I did feel aggrieved that he didn't make it.
Yeah.
Just don't feel that way.
No, I agree with you.
Enjoy the week. Take some time.
Right.
Refocus.
Go to Flagstaff. Right. Go eat ice cream with Tori Lavello.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.